What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out Desert Storm: The Ground War Day 3, the Great Tank Battle of 73 Eastings. We've watched Day 1, we've watched Day 2, we watched Day 1 of the Air War as well, which was really, really good. Listen, camera, focus on me face. I don't know what's going on with this camera recently. It's just not been focusing. It needs to switch on and get the job done. Listen. I've been enjoying this so far. The Operation Room are absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed the top-down version of looking at the tactics. They're at 1.39 million subscribers. Head over to their channel. There'll be a link down below in the description. Head over there. Let's get them to 1.4 million by the end of the year. They're absolutely phenomenal, and they're definitely worth your time if you haven't subscribed to them already. Before we get started, though, you know I'm going to say it. Listen, it's that time of year. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time. And listen, you've got to put yourself something under the tree. You got to treat yourself, all right? Or you got to treat a loved one. If you know someone's been like, you know what, I'd love one of them. This is your sign. This is your sign. Shipped to America, 10% off. Handmade here in the UK. You can protect your wood and put this in the dishwasher. So they last a lifetime. Free customization. Free bag. My God. Supporting small businesses, sustainable wood. You can protect your sustainable wood by putting this in the dishwasher. You can get a full fist in it. Unlike the older ones, where you can only get you can barely get 4 fingers in. This one's a little bit bigger. Get a full fist in there. 10% off, link down below. Get yourself one while you can. It's Christmas time. They're selling like hotcakes. You might as well do it. Also, I made a drink. I've said this so many times now. I've drank so many of these. There we go. Tastes incredible. If you're in the UK, go buy yourself some morale right now. If you're not in the UK, you can still buy yourself a sweatshirt and a t-shirt. I literally send them out from this room. So if you order something, I've been writing little notes on, little thank you, smiley face and stuff like that. Trying to draw a mushroom on the box without it looking too much like male genitals. And it's been really fun. If you want to check out what we're doing, the cause is really important to me. It's, at the end of the day, it is a healthy, energizing drink, something that is the most sociable thing in the world, a drink, a simple drink that energizes you and promotes outdoor activity. It's as simple as that. And so if you want to be part of the movement, if you love the outdoors like I do, head over to the website, buy yourself some drinks, go to the Instagram, check out the content we're doing. If you go to the description, to the subscribe button down below and click subscribe, you'll notice that this video is in collaboration with Drink Morale. Go to the Drink Morale YouTube channel and check out the content. It's amazing. I'm really excited. We're actually converting a van here on Original Human. If you didn't see it, I think it was on like Thursday. Wait, what day is it today? It's Friday today. I think it was on Wednesday that I uploaded a video, the first video of the van conversion. I am transforming a van into like a camper van. And I'm doing it here on this channel with collaboration of Drink Morale. And we're going to be changing it into the Morale Mobile and traveling around the country, going up to the Highlands of Scotland, having a bunch of fun, getting out in nature and just doing the things we should be doing as humans. And it's a lot of fun. So be part of the movement. Head over to the Drink Morale YouTube channel where we've just reached 2,000 subscribers. It's very exciting. We've got a really good, tight-knit community over there. And yeah, be part of it because it is genuinely exciting. Other than that, let's shut up. Let's see what happens. Day 3 of Desert Storm. Should I turn subbies on? I should probably turn subbies on, eh?
The armoured divisions of 7 Corps have been preparing for this moment for several months. They edge eastwards, peering through the sandstorm to find the Republican Guard.
Look at all them
waiting
tanks.
For them in the murk. The largest tank battle since World War II is about to begin.
Holy crap, really?
This video on the Great Tank Battle of 73 Easting is...
Okay, I gotta get through the sponsors, guys. Sorry.
With the coalition closing in from multiple directions, resistance fighters in Kuwait City alert the CIA that a mass exodus of Iraqi troops from the capital is in motion. A
Makes
developmental
sense.
E-8 ground surveillance aircraft, rushed into theatre in time for the conflict, is ordered to scan the area, and detects 150 tanks, trucks and confiscated civilian vehicles forming into convoys and retreating north from Kuwait City, on a highway towards Iraq. Coalition commanders...
Wait, is that the highway that's been taken already by the troops on the far west side? Is that the highway they're talking about? Because it seemed like in the last video there was only one highway that was really connecting Kuwait to Iraq.
Instructs Colonel Hornberg, commander of 4th Wing, to deploy his F-15 Strike Eagles. I know you've just finished a hard night's flying, but I've got a job for you. I want you to put your guys back in their aircraft, fly over to Kuwait and stop a convoy. Stop it at all costs. The 12 Eagles, along with Navy A-6 intruders, drop cluster bombs on the lead and rear vehicles of the convoy, stopping it in place. These 150 vehicles are just the first in a line of thousands retreating from Kuwait. Over the next 48 hours,
oh my
hundreds
God!
of coalition...
Look at that image! They really did destroy it, didn't they? My God, look at that mess.
Bombers hammer the traffic jam. The ensuing carnage on Highway 80 will earn it the nickname the Highway of Death.
So it is the same highway
the
then?
commanders of the Tawakkalna and Medina Republican Guard divisions...
Wait, no it's not. Is it the same highway? The map's not zoomed out far enough. It was Highway 80, but it was way further to the west, where lads had taken it. Remember in the last video, they had a bunch of vehicles that got dropped to take it, but the land was too boggy, and so lads on foot went and did it instead.
They must delay the advance of 7 Corps as long as they can to allow the escape of Iraqi units in the area, including other Republican Guard divisions. They also know that this is very likely to be a sacrificial task. They deploy in a defensive line alongside regular Iraqi divisions to meet the oncoming American and British armour anyway. They show courage in doing so. The 2nd Armoured Cavalry Regiment are continuing their probe eastwards, with orders to find the Tawakkalna Division, but not to become decisively engaged. They are the lead scouting elements of 7 Corps. The British 1st Armoured Division have been holding a defensive line against Iraqi counterattack throughout the night, and now advance east towards the Kuwaiti border.
Nice.
Their objective is to sweep through the multiple Iraqi brigades and divisions on the southern flank, splitting the Iraqi front line in half and isolating the Republican Guard units from possible reinforcements from Kuwait.
If there's anyone who can do that, it's the Brits, let's be honest. They're good at their job.
Allowing the rest of 7 Corps to hit them in concentration. At 7 AM, the 4th Armoured Brigade assaults the left flank of the Iraqi front line, who are caught off guard in a defensive line facing south towards the border. Unlike other frontline divisions, the Iraqi 52nd Armoured Division puts up a spirited response, firing and manoeuvring with their T-55 tanks. The return fire is ineffective, however, and throughout the morning, Challenger 1 tanks clear the way to their objective, destroying numerous Iraqi tank companies. The 7th Armoured Brigade, famously named the Desert Rats for their role in North Africa in the Second World War.
My great-granddad was in the Desert Rats. Obviously, this was way after his time. But yeah, my great-granddad was in the Desert Rats. In fact, my granddad, and I don't know whether my grandma still got it because my granddad passed a few months back, unfortunately, or a little bit longer than that now. He had my great-granddad's Desert Rat patches. He also, when you go into my grandma's house, my grandma and granddad's house, when you go through the front door, if you look behind you as you go through at the door, there's a dagger with the Nazi symbol on it, hung on the wall, and I guess that was from a Nazi officer that my great granddad took it from him. You know, he took it from him in a very interesting way, as you can probably imagine. We have a long lineage in my family of fighting bad guys.
Sweep along the flank of another Iraqi line formed just to the north, catching the Iraqi troops watching south towards the battle raging with 4th Armoured. A Challenger tank of the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards makes the longest recorded tank kill in history at 4,700 metres, a record that stands to this day. The Iraqis do not maintain all-round reconnaissance, and a company of Spartan armoured personnel carriers hook around to their north and attack them from the rear with Milan anti-tank missiles. The division methodically continues east throughout the day, clearing objective after objective without loss. Disaster strikes in the afternoon, when a pair of American A-10s arriving on station are given a verbal description of the location of enemy tanks by a returning F-16. They approach an area 20 kilometers from their assigned tasking and spot vehicles below. They don't see the inverted V markings on the side of the vehicles indicating friendly forces, and mistake them for Iraqi T-55 tanks.
Oh, shit.
They fire 2 Maverick missiles, hitting 2 British Warrior infantry fighting vehicles. Unfortunately, 9 are killed.
Holy crap.
The 2nd Armoured Cavalry Regiment has led the US armoured divisions since the beginning of the invasion. An instinctively mobile unit, they've had a frustrating stop-start morning, advancing but having to stop to wait for the heavy armour behind to catch up and organise into a line of attack. They edge forward to find the Republican Guard, where their orders are to not become engaged, but to allow the 1st Infantry Division to move to the front to do the fighting when they're discovered. They've already discovered and destroyed outer scout units of the Tawakalna Republican Guard Division. The sandstorms are terrible, and the visibility is down to a few hundred meters, so they edge forward without scout helicopter support. The 3 squadrons...
Is this an accurate representation of how many tanks were actually on the ground? Because if it is, that's just mental, isn't it? Like, that many tanks? It just blows my mind. It must have been such a sight to see, although with this sandstorm, they obviously wouldn't have been able to see anything, really, would they?
Of 2nd Armoured Cavalry, named Cougar, Wolfpack and War Eagle, advance. Cougar Squadron is on the regiment's left flank and is made up of 4 troops, Eagle, Fox, Ghost and Hawk, each approximately made up of 9 Abrams tanks and 13 Bradleys. At 3:20 PM, 7 Corps Commander General Franks orders 2nd Armoured Cavalry to lead the line forward from the 60th to the 67th Easting, or the 67th kilometre of longitude east of the official campaign map centerline. The Republican Guard is reported to be just kilometres away, but the information is 2 hours old. Bradley commanders peer into the sandstorm with their infrared sights. They roll forward slowly and deliberately. The young men in the vehicles are itching for the fight they all know is about to start.
Classic.
A pair of scouting BMPs and 3 solitary dug-in tanks are spotted by scouts. Lieutenant Haynes halts his Bradley and lines up the first tank with his optical sensor. He swallows a few times and fires a TOW anti-tank missile into the unsuspecting tank. Quickly, he fires a second into the second tank and 25mm cannon rounds into the third. Scouts take fire from a cluster.
Why does it feel like my ears itchy? No bug in there, is there? Weird.
Of secluded buildings. Seeing no evidence of civilians in the cluster, Captain McMaster, commander of Eagle Troop, warms his tank crews up to the coming fight by ordering a short burst of fire on the buildings. The small arms fire stops. Suddenly, a tank shell explodes just short of a Bradley. The vehicle commander, Lieutenant Gauthier, yells, "Driver, stop, gunner, missile, tank." He finds the Tawakalna Republican Guard Division T-72 tank that's just fired on him, barely visible at 800 meters in front. He and a nearby Bradley rapidly return fire with TOWs, and the T-72's turret explodes in a fireball. McMaster senses that a major...
This is why it's so interesting watching the Ukraine footage right now, because it's the first time we're actually getting like 4K video of legit tank battles. And we're seeing Bradleys and Abrams and everything go into battle, and we're seeing it in 4K. And we're seeing trench warfare in 4K, and it's such a fascinating bit of footage to watch.
Combat engagement is imminent, and calls over the radio. Eagle Troop, battle stations, go to tank's lead. We're going to tank's lead. The Abrams tanks in his troop move to the front in a wedge formation. At 4:18 PM, Cougar Squadron is ordered to advance to the 70th Easting. In a Bradley belonging to Ghost Troop, Lieutenant John Hillen radio acknowledges the receipt of the advance order and, fearing tank mines in the area, moves to sit on 2 Kevlar flak vests. Staff Sergeant Burns asks him why he's sitting on the vests. "I want to be able to make more Hillens when this thing is over," is the response. At 4:18, the great tank battle that they've been preparing for several months begins. Through the clearing weather, McMaster spots the enemy. Contact, 5 armoured vehicles direct front, 3 more off to the left. The enemy tanks are traversing their turrets towards Eagle Troop. He pushes the button on his Abrams laser rangefinder, 1,420 yards. Fire Sabot, he yells.
That's
The
a
first round
distance,
hits
that,
a
innit?
T-72. Rapidly reloading, the second shot is away on the second enemy tank within 3 seconds. A ferocious volley of enemy fire.
Oh my god, this is like a proper battle now. Look at this. Christ. Although the US still has far greater numbers, it's still nothing to be scoffed at when you're getting shot at by, what, 5, 6, 7, 8 tanks.
Lands amongst Eagle Troop. His vehicles are just cresting a hill, and to his horror,
Oh.
McMaster sees a mass of enemy tanks
Oh,
waiting for them on
shit.
the other side. Eagle Troop aggressively charges forwards, with all Abrams and Bradleys now furiously returning fire at the enemy. There is little choice but to take the fight to the enemy, ignoring their
God.
regimental order not to become decisively engaged. Their troop of 9 Abrams and 13 Bradleys are going head-to-head with 39 Iraqi tanks, 54 armoured
39.
vehicles, and 200 infantrymen.
Wow. So this is a true battle here then, isn't it? That is terrifying. But hey, the US have been up against worse odds, haven't they? Let's be honest.
Marauding into the enemy lines, McMaster's tanks have already destroyed 15 T-72s, and the closing range is only making the
15.
engagement more violent. A nearby scout platoon of Bradleys race over to reinforce Eagle Troop. A deadly ZSU-23 anti-aircraft gun opens fire on them, and they calmly destroy it with a tow missile. The Bradleys open up on the entrenched infantry with 20mm cannon fire. While Eagle Troop are taking hits, no vehicles are destroyed. The infrared sights on the American vehicles are far superior to the optics in the Iraqi tanks, whose commanders are relying on the regular lens sights to spot the marauding tanks through the storm.
No vehicles whatsoever.
Eagle Troop violently bashes through the outer line of tanks and spots a circle formation of 17 T-72s to their left, supposedly a reserve that would react to attempts at penetration or encirclement. They never get the chance. Within seconds, the entire formation is obliterated.
So the US, literally, even being that outnumbered, rolled over him like it's just another day at the office. Wow, that is impressive. That is incredibly impressive.
The rest of the 2nd Armoured Cavalry Regiment and the 1st and 3rd Armoured Divisions are now making first contact with the Republican Guard, and the remains of the Iraqi 52nd Armoured Division fleeing into the area from the British advancing in the south. Eagle Troop have found by far the largest defensive concentration. Ghost Troop are moving parallel to Eagle Troop, just north, in a fight of their own. Seeing the carnage that Eagle's Abrams are inflicting to their south, Ghost desperately try to keep a safe distance to prevent a friendly fire incident.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In doing so, one Bradley accidentally drives into a minefield and over an anti-tank mine.
Shit.
Miraculously, the vehicle survives. In a nearby Bradley, the crew congratulate Vehicle Commander Lieutenant Hillen on his foresight, before frantically repositioning onto Kevlar vests of their own. At 6:40 PM, just 22 minutes after the first shots were fired, Eagle Troop arrives at the 73 Easting, and the shooting wanes.
So they did it.
McMaster calls for a status report, and is astounded to find that Eagle Troop has not lost a single vehicle, nor a single weapon system disabled.
Not a single vehicle. And they were saying they were up against, what, 200 troops, 30-odd tanks, and a bunch of other armoured vehicles, and they didn't lose a single one.
Eagle alone has destroyed an entire Republican Guard battalion of approximately 47 tanks, 34 armoured vehicles, and numerous trucks.
47 tanks.
Destroyed, and scores of infantrymen killed.
Wow.
The destruction along the front line is similarly conclusive. American gunnery and firepower is superior, and the advantage of having infrared optics in the storm is decisive.
That is
Other
insane.
engaged units don't need to perform the aggressive charge that Eagle Troop were forced into after...
This is like watching the Roman legions fight against Boudicca's frigging troops. And even though Boudica had more at the very start, the Roman legion just... They just walked through him. You know what I mean? If any history buffs out there, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll know what I'm talking about.
The hill and finding the enemy at short range. They're able to use superior range of the Abrams over the T-72 to keep the enemy at arm's length while destroying them. At 5 PM, Ghost Troop of 2nd Armoured Cavalry are also at the 73 Easting, holding a defensive line with Eagle Troop. A counter-attacking formation of Iraqi armour approaches, and Ghost Troop requests artillery support. Their toes hit the first BMP as the artillery falls. The artillery shells used are dual-purpose improved conventional munitions, DPICM. The shell detonates close to the target and showers it with armour-piercing cluster bomblets. The 14 attacking vehicles are wiped out over the next 15 minutes. Over the next 3 hours, 2 similar counterattacks are attempted, but with the weather clearing up, the troops of 2nd Armoured Cavalry are able to begin calling in A-10 airstrikes on the approaching armour.
Imagine what it would have been like when Saddam Hussein got the report back from these battles. Like, can you imagine the tension in that room when they hear the US basically just rolled over us, the US and the Allies just rolled over us, and they barely lost anything, that they're still coming, and they've taken out the whole guard. Like, can you imagine the tension? Like, at that point, he's already digging that hole that he's going to hide himself in. You know? Is that the weather? Oh my god, it's absolutely hammering it down outside.
Now that they're holding the 73 Easting, they can bring their artillery to bear into a killing zone to their front. After many exhausting hours of repelling piecemeal Iraqi attacks, at 2 AM, the 2nd Armoured Cavalry Regiment is finally relieved on the front line by the 1st Infantry Division. Their work has been Herculean. The regiment as a whole has destroyed 2 whole brigades of the Tarakana Republican Guard Division for the loss of only 6 men.
Wait, I thought the British were going to swing round up top, or is it just taking too long for them to get up there?
Accounting for 159 enemy tanks and 260 armoured vehicles.
My god.
By comparison, the entire 1st and 3rd Armoured Divisions combined have destroyed a further 76 tanks and 84 armoured vehicles.
This is just in one day. Well, I guess this must be a cumulative over the past 3 days, actually.
7 Corps continues to press east through the night, continuing the fight with the Republican Guard. The British 1st Armoured Division moves northeast to join the rest of the Corps at an area of land known as Objective Norfolk, where the final showdown with the Tarakana Division will take place in the early hours of Day 4. The US 1st Armoured Division sets its sights on the Medina Republican Guard Division further north, encamped and waiting on a hill the US troops would later call Medina Ridge. In Kuwait, the coalition divisions continue their methodical advance north. There are reports of atrocities and prisoner snatching by the retreating Iraqi forces in the city, so the coalition advances with haste to liberate Kuwait City. The 2 US Marine divisions approach Kuwait International Airport. Their objective in Day 4 will be to capture it, and then to move into Kuwait City with their Arab allies, including Free Kuwaiti forces.
So that's the end of Day 3. It looks like they've got a video where it's Day 4 and 5 combined. And that would be the last video, I think, in this series. If you want me to watch it, let me know in the comments. If not, I'm probably going to watch it on my own because I find it fascinating. But the amount of, I'm not going to say ease that the Allied troops had on rolling over Saddam's forces in Iraq and Kuwait, because it wasn't easy. But it was certainly a show of what these Allied forces are truly capable of, wasn't it? And it is intense, to say the least. Very, very intense. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. I will leave a link down below to the operation room. Let's get into 1.4 million by the end of the year. Check out Chug. If you haven't got yourself one already, it is time to do it right now. And also, go check out Morale. It is such a passion project of mine, and it would mean the world to me if you checked it out. Other than that, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.